Hi, this is
Hi,
Karen,
this is Ann.
and this is Karen.
This is Ann, and this is a date with dietitians. I think we can say it at the same time.
Yeah,
This is
sorry.
a date with
Dietitians.
dietitian.
Okay.
We are registered dietitians trying to help everybody make sense about what's going on in the world of nutrition. And Karen, what are we going to talk about today? How are you doing, by the way?
Good. I'm
Yeah,
good. We want to talk about something new. What dropped
something
in
really
January?
so
Yes, it's
exciting. I'm so
exciting.
happy about it.
Yeah. Are you excited?
I am.
January's big USDA reset. What did
Mhm.
they do? They flipped the pyramid, right?
Thank you, Lord, because it was upside down this whole time. I'm going to have to interject with comments, but yes, keep going with the big news that most dietitians, I think, are happy and pleased.
Yes.
I feel
Yes.
vindicated
Yes.
for 40 years of
Yes.
being told I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but continue.
So January's big USDA reset was the flipped pyramid. They bumped protein way up and pushed real food over junk food. So, hey, everybody, we're diving in. And that will be the 2025 to 2030 guidelines. So today we're going to talk about protein, why it's important, and why it's at the new top. And we have the new upside down cone.
Which I love.
Yeah. We're going to talk a little bit about why protein is important, the obvious ways and the not so obvious ways our body uses protein to keep our body running, and why it's not just required for muscle building, but
Now we're going to get into a bit of that today.
it's required for longevity and more. We're also going to discuss protein goals,
Mm-hmm.
where they came from and the new ones and where they've landed. We're also going to discuss what.
We're going to do a lot of things. We're going to
Yeah.
turn this into a series. So
Yeah,
this
that's true.
protein,
So whatever we don't get to today, we'll
Mhm.
finish up later.
and I'll say a few of the things that are going to come up because these are all protein related. And then I want to get back to where did the guidelines come from? I love that.
Turn the pyramid upside down. You can't be serious. That would put.
You see the green letters. The angels are
So
singing.
we've got a match. We've got a well-balanced.
Yes. Talk to me about protein and tell me why do we need it in the body?
Oh my gosh, there's so many reasons. But the series I wanted to touch on what we're going to be talking about because protein is involved in all these topics we're going to be covering, right?
Yeah.
Collagen. I do want to circle back to creatine and make a few comments because I changed my own recommendations.
Okay, do that.
So I want to talk about collagen. We're going to talk about colostrum. We're going to talk about different protein needs during different cycles of your life, healing, H peptides. Did I say colostrum? Why is that popular all of a sudden?
Oh,
Protein,
got out.
complete protein, plant-based diet, protein. So we got a lot to talk about. Leucine, special amino
leucine.
acids. So we have a lot to talk about.
Mm.
Today, we want to focus on the big change and how we're so happy.
Yeah.
And why is protein so important? Because it's not just a lot of people I think just think protein is about your muscles. So that's, an important part. Protein plays an important part in that. Basically, your body, everything about your body is protein. You've got structural proteins like collagen, which most everybody's heard about. That's your skin, tendons, bones, cartilage. Interesting thing, you need to have an adequate vitamin C to properly absorb and get collagen formed. Elastin, those are two other structural proteins. You've got my favorite kind, your contractile protein. That would be the actin and myosin, lesser known little proteins, but they are your heart's a muscle, so they're involved in that and the contraction in your muscles when you're exercising. Proteins are enzymes, which means they make things happen. You've got digestive enzymes. Everybody's heard of that. You've got all kinds of metabolic enzymes. We're going to talk lactase. Lactase is a good example. A lot of people probably have heard of that enzyme. That's a protein. But just FYI, people, peptides are not technically proteins. We're going to talk about peptides too. Forgot about that. We got transport proteins, which I think most people have heard of hemoglobin that transports oxygen. And you've got albumin and you've also got proteins that act as hormones. Everybody knows insulin. You've got growth hormone, leptin, that's a protein. Proteins are involved in your body's defense system, antibodies, cytokines, inflammatory responses. You've got proteins that are like emergency repair proteins for clotting. I think everybody learned about fibrin probably in grade school.
I didn't.
And then you've got
Fibrin?
regulatory and storage proteins. Ferritin stores iron.
Yeah.
So basically, you can think of protein makes your house or your temple. It's the wiring in your house. It's the repair of your house. It's everything. So that's why it's so important.
Very important.
And I want to get back to how were the original, like, where are we with it? And what were the original guidelines and where'd they come from?
Before we get there, do you want me to do my factoid?
Yes, I always love your factoids. Now, I need to check the battery. I'm worried about my phone battery.
Oh, how do you check it? Okay,
I know.
did you know that the body turns over 300 grams of
God.
protein a day?
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's crazy.
But if you think about all the things I just said,
I mean, there's a range, but
your
there's
whole
a-
body is protein.
Yeah,
So that,
yeah.
that makes sense.
And oddly enough, 5% of that is muscle.
Well, I mean, after listing all those things,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you can see.
40 to 50%. Let's see. 40 to 50% of that is small intestine, liver, which is the most active part.
So what about, I mean, we're kind
okay.
of focused on older women. I know you have a
Yes.
factoid about
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Are
Oh my
women
goodness.
getting
No.
adequate protein?
No. 60. Average woman eats 68 grams a day, and 40% of women over the age of 60 are deficient in protein.
And what do you think happens to your protein needs as you age?
They go up.
Yeah.
Because we're less efficient.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
where did the initial guidelines come from?
Yeah. So
And why are we so happy that they changed? So let's start with where they came from.
So the initial guidelines came from a study that was done probably in the 70s, so over 40 years ago. And they were done on 25 healthy men. And they used a nitrogen balance study. And that just basically means they tested how much nitrogen they ate and how much they excreted, and figured out, oh, this is how much they need. I mean, they did a detailed study, but they knew they were not going to be in any kind of catabolic or anabolic state because they're 25. They're not building protein. They're not breaking it down.
They're
just thought,
basically at the pinnacle
peak,
of their health.
right?
Mhm.
They weren't sick. They weren't bodybuilding. They weren't growing. And they thought, you know what? They need 0.7 grams of protein, and give or take, we may have messed up they may have dropped a few hairs or skin cells that we weren't aware of. And so we're going to bump it up from 0.6 to 0.8 for that factor that we may have missed. And that's where we came up with that being the minimal of what an American would need to survive. And so
Which is ridiculous.
That's what we've told everybody they needed for the last
not me.
40 years. And that's what the government has told every school, nursing home, prison,
the military,
everything. So when they prepare food for anything that is a government program, they base it on that. And that's how they determine how much protein and
it's so ridiculous that that's what we used to tell. And I never thought it was right. I thought it was always ridiculous.
Yeah. So just to give you an idea, say a 150-pound person, 0.8 grams of protein would be about 54 grams of protein a day. So
I do want to mention something before I forget. These are minimum. The RDAs are minimum. And we're not minimum RDs, right? We want everything to be optimized. Yeah, we want to be healthy. We want optimum health, the best health that we can get. So just remember when you're looking at those RDAs for nutrients, and protein is a macronutrient, got to add that. Yeah. I meant to put that in the beginning. Carbs, fats, and protein. And we're going to talk about all of them.
Yeah, so they recommended that now goes up to 1.5. They've recommended it goes up to 1.5 to 100, basically 100%. more.
Yeah, it's double. Yeah.
It's double, which would be instead of 0.8 grams per kilogram, 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram. And that's of ideal body weight, typically.
Which, I mean, so in real terms, let's say people out there want to know, well, what should I eat? Like, how many grams should I eat in a day? Your average woman, I'm going to say minimum 90, just as a ballpark. Shoot for that.
Closer to 100.
Yeah, I'm saying minimum 90.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to shoot for 120, which we talked about the other day. Is going to be a little bit hard, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, if you got to shoot high, because you have to know that you're not going to have every day is not going to be a good day.
Right.
And you really want that first meal to be the one, especially if you're our age, you want that first meal to be the one that has 30 grams or more. But we'll talk about that later. Yeah.
And we're going to talk about different types of protein too. They're not all absorbed the same. And then I was going to say something about celiac too. I feel like that probably increases it. I have celiac, everybody, which is related to protein.
Yeah.
A genetic issue with the protein and gluten.
So what else did you want to touch on before we end today? I want to talk about leucine, but I don't know if we have enough time.
Yeah, I want to talk about leucine. Well, I do want to talk about, before we talk about leucine, I did want to talk a minute about my new creatine.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm changing that. So I think, going for 15. I am bloating. It is causing bloating, but not every day. It's getting better.
Gradually increasing, right?
Yeah, it was gradually increasing. I think I did it too fast. So I backed down for a few days, and now I'm back up to maybe 10 or 15 grams. I'm not putting it in my coffee because I was listening to a very respected doctor. What is his name? The one who sent me.
I don't know. Dr. Lehman?
Yeah, Dr. Lehman.
Yeah.
I think he's the one who mentioned it. It competes with calcium in your muscles. The caffeine and the creatine compete with each other. So don't put it in caffeine. So I'm not putting it in my coffee anymore. And I'm going to go ahead and maybe bump it to 15 or 20 as my goal, because it is a cytokine modulator, which I love that, because that basically means it's tampering down any inflammation, because cytokines are about.
So do you do it, but you do it in portions,
I'm
right?
doing it like 4
5
times a day.
Yeah.
So, and I did just throw a little bit in my coffee because it's half cap. I'm like, well, maybe a little bit will get in my brain in the morning, because it's good for brain health. But so that's my new update. I'm going to go ahead and try and get to 20 grams because of my age.
But they say your muscles really have to be saturated first before your brain will get any.
Yes.
So I always feel like, I don't know if this is true, but I always feel like my brain gets what the end of the day. It's almost like,
I feel different.
Do you know what I mean?
Told you, I feel better in the afternoon if I have it in tea or I have it in my smoothie. I do feel like I have more mental energy. It's, what time is it? 6:02 Eastern time. I would normally be like, I'm done. No more thinking, no more talking, especially about amino acids. And we're also going to get into what they are. What's nitrogen got to do with anything?
Also, protein is made up of amino acids, 20 amino acids. Some of them are essential and some of them aren't. Carbohydrates, none of them are essential. Some fats are essential, but there aren't any carbohydrates that are essential.
No. And that's another thing. Can I just make one more comment about the pyramid and how happy? I mean,
and you don't need carbohydrates. I'm just saying.
But it was recommending 8 to 14 servings, and plus I mean, of course, everybody's insulin is out of control. Like, who can eat that much carb? And I'm grain free, so I feel really good since I've been grain free a year.
All the backlash with all the bad clip art they use.
No, is there something in particular?
Yeah, there are people that didn't like the clip art, the pictures.
For the new one?
Yeah. The pictures they used, and I was thinking,
because there's wine glass on it.
No, maybe, I don't know. I'll have to look up a picture.
But I mean, I think there's a lot about protein, and we have a lot to talk about. So what should we do next time? I think go down to the amino acid level and talk about essential amino acids, what you need, what you don't, plant-based versus not plant-based. No judging, but I think people need to make informed choices.
Okay, before we stop. Okay. I just have to say, you have to get 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine.
I want you to do like a whole segment on that,
Okay.
girl,
Okay. I'll do a whole segment.
because you're gonna have to explain what is it.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that should be in the amino acid topic,
All right.
because
Yes.
that's topical, right? That's in the news. No,
Yes.
I'm
Yep,
sorry I
yep.
ruined your flow. I didn't mean to.
You blurry. Bye-bye. Bye. Anne had to go away. So we will resume this talk later. Her phone died. Hi. I just wanted to say that Anne had to leave the studio, and we are going to do a follow-up on what to do with these new protein guidelines, what to eat, how to eat, how much to eat, when to eat. And so we're not going to leave you guys hanging, and we're going to do that follow-up real soon. So thank you and take care. Goodbye.